सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Sairam everyone. We will continue from where we left off. We are in the 6th Anuvaka. We had covered about 9 mantras so far. So we are going on to the 10th mantra in this Anuvaka. Nama Shravaya Cha Pratishravaya Cha. Nama Shravaya Cha Pratishravaya Cha. I think someone has raised a hand. It's by mistake. Sairam Sister Aruna, did you raise your hand?
Sorry, brother, it's accidentally.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you. I guessed. Shravaya Cha Pratishravaya Cha. In terms of pronunciation, I think most of the sounds should be straightforward. There are no aspirated consonants, so it should be okay. We look at the meaning. Namaha, salutation. Shravaya, just as usual, it's the fourth vibhakti or fourth noun form of the simple word Shravaha. We have looked at, I think, this word long time ago. I think when we looked at the Ganapati Prarthana, I think. Shravaha has multiple meanings. In this case, the meaning which the commentators have used is a form of sound, because Shrava also relates to hearing. Shravana means hearing. So this is in line with that kind of a meaning. Okay. Though it also can mean fame and so on, which I think we have looked at before. But in this case, because your well-known name, that also means Shravana. Your name is heard everywhere, that kind of a meaning. But in this case, we are just taking the meaning sound. Shravaya means to the form of sound. O Lord, who is in the form of sound, we salute. Okay, the next word is Pratishravaya. Pratishravaya is the fourth noun form of the simple noun Pratishravah. Okay, so that means to Pratishravah, our salutation. One who is the resound or occur. Prati means the opposite, that something which comes back, which faces something. So that kind of meaning gives Prati, though there are many meanings for Prati also. So the commentators have always used the word meaning as a resound, an echo, a reflection of a sound. That's the meaning. So he is the sound and he is the echo. That is the meaning which the commentators have given. Now we'll look at some of Swami's discourses, because Swami talks a lot about resound. So we will look at them. 1 second, I will make some adjustments to my screen once. Okay, I will just read it. For example, you go on repeating loudly a particular sentence taken from a book. After some time, you will get it by heart. But the sentence memorized by you is not yours. It is only a resound. In God's creation, everything is reaction, reflection, and a resound. All that we experience in the outside world is only a reaction, reflection, and resound of the inner being. We are, however, deluded to think that this reaction, reflection, and resound are real ones. Whatever feeling comes out of your heart and takes a shape outside is the real form. It means that the form has already been conceived by you. Suppose you imagine a particular form of Lord Rama. Then contemplate on that form, closing your eyes. You can visualize the same form as a reflection of your inner thoughts. All that is manifested in the outside world is only a reaction, reflection, and resound of your inner being. There are a couple of more excerpts. So this discourse from 2004. Agastya is also reported to have drunk off the ocean all in one sip. That is to say, he dried up the ocean of the objective world, samsara, with its waves of grief and joy, prosperity and adversity, success and failure. It is not any special power, this feat. It's not any special power, this feat. It is a parable explaining that though he was a married man with a son who recited the Vedas as soon as he saw light, he had conquered all attachments of the world. Be attached only to the ideal, that is the sign of a sage. Kabir was weaving a yellow silk garment for the Lord, for his Rama. He had to work the loom alone by hand. He recited Rama, 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 and went on weaving ceaselessly. The cloth became 20 yards long, but Kabir did not stop. His penance continued unabated, and the garment was becoming longer. The bliss, the ananda of the craft, devotion to his Lord was enough food and drink for his sustenance. When he gave it to the temple priest for clothing the idol of Rama, the garment was just the right length and breadth, not a finger breadth more. Such men are the mainsprings of the joy that spiritual persons fill themselves with in India. The home Griha must resound to the name of Govinda. Otherwise, it is just a cave, a guha, where wild animals dwell. The body needs a house, but the body is itself a house. In that house, too, the name of Govinda must be heard, or else it's a mud pot, ghata, not a man's body. I had taken it is because of the need to resound. The name has to resound in us. So that is the pratishrava. So God should resound in us. So it's a reminder for us that uh, that we have to recognize that God is also present in the resound, and what we are capable of is to resound that Godhead. So Shravaya, Pratishravaya. So we worship the Lord, and when He resounds in us also, that also we worship. That is the real meaning of salutation. So these are examples of how devotees made God resound in them, that everything what they did became godly. And Swami gave the example of Kabir. So when we sing for bhajans, somebody leads a bhajan, then others all resound, which follow. Both are needed, and in both there is divinity. So I thought I will just point that out. So we will look at the next mantra. Nama Ashu Shenaya Chashurathaya Cha. Nama Ashu Shenaya Chashurathaya Cha. Nama Ashu Shenaya Chashurathaya Cha. A few letters to pay attention to. Ashu, this is palatal sha, then she, which is cerebral sha. Okay. Ashu Shenaya Chashu, this again the same shu. The tha is the second letter in the tha varga, so it has to be aspirated. The thaya cha. We can look at the meaning. Namaha, salutation. Ashu Shenaya is the fourth vibhakti or fourth noun form of the simple noun Ashu Shenaha. Okay. You must have come across, I think we discussed this word Ashu because while discussing Suprabhatam, I think in the verse Tvannama Kirtana, Ashu, the word Ashu comes. That means quickly. We are praying to the Lord to quickly wake up, okay? Because the devotees are just singing and they are waiting to say. So Ashu means quickly or fast, okay? So in this case, Ashu Shenaha means one whose Sena, actually Sena, because of some rules, grammatical rules, it becomes Shena. So the real word is Sena, okay? But the Sena gets transformed into Shena. So that means a fast moving army, one whose army is capable of moving very fast. Okay. Ashu Shena. Okay. So you can see how words change when they put together, when they are put together. Okay. Ashu Sena becomes Ashu Shena. Okay. So we are saying that Lord Rudra has an army which moves very fast. To that Lord, our salutation. The next word, Cha Shurataya. Cha and A becomes Sandhi, so you get Cha. Okay. Cha and A becomes Cha. Now, Cha is and. Ashu Rathaya means it's the fourth bhakti or fourth noun form of the simple noun. Ashu Rathaha. Okay. Ashu Rathaha. Ashu again we have seen is fast. Ratha is chariot. We have seen. So one who has a chariot or one whose chariot moves very fast. Okay. Speeding cars, something like that. So speeding chariots. So one who has a speeding chariot. To that Lord we salute. Salutation to Ashuratha. So the meaning is salutation to one whose army moves very fast and one whose chariot moves fast. Okay. Why does it move fast? So I think that's something to look at. So we will look at an excerpt from Swami's discourse. According to the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra, okay. According to the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra, the entire universe is the very form of Vishnu. Vishwam, Vishnu Swarupam. Even if man were to travel at the speed of light, it will take 22,000 crore years to circumambulate Lord Vishnu. Who can live for such a long period of time? Due to the evil effects of Kali age, man is not able to live even for 100 years, let alone 22,000 crores years. But it is possible to go around the Vishwaswarupa God in the form of universe in 1 second. It is love that makes it possible. The speed of love is such that it can go around the universe in 1 second. The speed of light may be estimated, but not the speed of love. So Swami is saying, so when why is God able to travel fast? Because he's filled with love and it can reach anyone, anywhere, at any time. So that is instantly, it's able to manifest anywhere. That is because of what Swami says is love. The Lord moves fast because he's love. And whoever this army or has love also can move fast. And the Lord is someone who commands such an army. So that is the one which goes very fast. And we can also look at in this world, everything is actually revolving very fast. If you look at Earth, which is actually rotating very fast, though we don't feel it. It rotates on its own axis. It moves around the sun also very fast. But humans can't even comprehend that speed. So all the planets which are whirling around this universe is all his army, the Lord's army. It's all his creation. That also comes through in this mantra. He is fast, his chariots are fast, and his army is also fast. It's all because of love, as Swami has put it. We can remember the story of Ganesha, Lord Ganesha going around his parents, which was equivalent to going around the world physically, so that itself is a show of love, which is also demonstrated in the story, where Ganesha won the prize of the mango fruit because he went around the parents because of his love and devotion. Okay, so even though he seemed to be walking slow, we will go to the next mantra. Nama Shuraya Chava Bhindate Cha. Nama Shuraya Chava Bhindate Cha. Nama Shuraya Chava Bhindate Cha. In terms of pronunciation, this sha is palatal sha. The way you say cha, cha, sha. Okay, the tongue should be parallel to the cavity of the mouth, roof of the mouth. The bhi is the fourth letter in the pa, so it has to be aspirate. Chava bhindate. Okay? Chava bhindate. Then we will look at the meaning. Namaha, salutation. Shuraya. I don't know. Oh, sorry. Shuraya is the fourth vibhakti or fourth noun form of the simple noun Shuraha. Okay, to Shuraha means Shuraya. Shuraya Namaha. To Shuraha, our salutation. Shura means one who is a mighty hero. Suran, in Tamil people say, one who is capable of accomplishing many things in a battle. It's a Shura. So we say the Lord is a Shura and we pay our salutations to that Lord, Rudra. The next, again, there's a Sandhi. Cha and Ava Bhindate becomes Chava Bhindate. So Ava Bhindate is again a fourth noun form, a fourth vibhakti of the simple noun Ava Bhindan. Ava Bhindan. Ava Bhindan means one who breaks or pierces. So the Lord actually pierces everything. Okay, he's a mighty hero. Because nothing can stop him from entering anywhere, breaking in. The meaning I can say is, if even our heart is like a rock, he knows how to pierce that. He is capable of piercing anything in this world, break into anything, and he can break it also. So that ultimate power is there in Rudra. So to that form, that Lord, our salutation. We'll go to the next mantra. all these mantras are like a warrior, how the Lord, fights the battle. Swami says, fight till the finish, fight to the end and finish the game, as in Swami says in one of his quotation. Namo varmine cha varuthine cha. Namo varmine cha varuthine cha. Namo varmine cha varuthine cha. In terms of pronunciation, nothing much to say. In this na, you have to know, this na. I think those who are not familiar with Tamil may not have, or any Indian languages will have a problem. They've only studied English, but this na is the harder na, okay, which is more or less the cerebral na. The other na is when the tongue is touching the teeth, the back of the teeth. Na, like the na, that is coming varutine. Here it is na, which is cerebral. So the tongue should be raised up, just the way it's ta ta da da na, same position. Varuthi, thi again is aspirated because it's the second letter in the ta varga. Varuthine cha. We can look at the meaning. Namaha, salutation. Varmine means to varmi, and varmine is again fourth noun form, of fourth vibhakti of simple noun varmi. It's varmin is the noun without any inflection, the root word or pratipadika. Varmi is the first simple noun, varma. Like Rajan becomes Raja, Brahman becomes Brahma, that kind of a meaning, that kind of a rule. So Varmi, okay. So one who is clad in armor, kavacha, one who wears something to protect oneself is Varmi. Now, kavacham also is coming later on, but one who is in armor, wearing an armor. So there are sometimes commentators have said Varma means to have only half the body covered in armor or something like that. And in terms of usage, that's the meaning. But Varmi, for our purposes, one who is actually protected, one who is in an armor. That means he cannot be attacked. No one can damage him. That kind of meaning, Varmi. I don't know. In India, it's many kings are called Varmas. Okay, that means they are warriors. That kind of a meaning. Varmi. So Varmane Namaha, to Varmi, our salutation. The next one is Varuthine. Varuthine is again fourth noun form of the simple noun Varuthi. Varuthi. Varuthi means one who gives protection. I think so. They say it contextually. I think because it's all related to war, commentators have given meaning. So the Lord also protects his chariot. For example, he's the one who is himself wearing an armor, and he can give protection to his charioteer also. So what it basically means, if the Lord is actually riding, there's our body is a chariot, and Jivatma, our small self is a charioteer. We are actually taking the Lord along with us, who is inside us. So he is protected anyway, and he also gives protection to us who are the charioteers. Okay, so he is the one who protects everything. Okay, because he is protection himself. That way also you can say Varmine means one who is a protection also. Okay. So Varmine, Namo Varmine cha Varuthine cha. Because I think we have already looked at some except where Swami says our body is the chariot. Okay, so We'll look at the next mantra. Namo bilmine cha kavachine cha. Namo bilmine cha kavachine cha. Namo bilmine cha kavachine cha. There are no letters which are actually aspirated, so it should be straightforward and simple to chant. We can look at the meaning. Namaha, salutation. Bilmine is the fourth noun form of the simple word bilmi. Okay, bilmi. Bilmi means one who wears a headgear, a helmet. I use the word helmet here. A protection for the head. We were talking about fast moving. Now, wearing a helmet. People wear in motorbike and so on. But what it also means is covering the head means it's also our thoughts. It protects from all bad influences. So the Lord is someone who wears, his head is protected. So nothing can interfere, damage his thinking, the working of that. So it also is, most of the prayers are actually learning what we also should do in our life. That means our head should be covered. Our thinking should be covered. And who covers it? The Lord. He's the one who gives the protection also. Varuthine. So the Lord is one who is. So anyone who is godly is also has his head covered. But in the war also, that's why in the war they wear the helmet, because nothing can attack. Okay, because that's the most important limb of the body which controls the functioning of the body. So it's covered and protected. Okay, so to that Vilmini, so Vilmine Namaha, that means to the one who wears a protective headgear, to that Lord, our salutation. Then we come to the word Kavachine. Okay, Kavachine is again fourth noun form, fourth vibhakti of the simple noun Kavachi. Kavachi means who has an armor. Okay. All of you must, I think many of you must be knowing Skanda Shashti Kavacha. There are kavachas, mantras which we chant, prayers which we chant. We believe that they are protection themselves. It's the same way the Lord is a protection, and he protects himself. Why the Lord protects himself? Because he is within us. So along with him, we are also protected. But that kind of meaning comes. Kavachi, one who has an armor. So salutation to the one who wears helmet and one who has an armor. I have a small excerpt of Swami's discourse. Another name for the body is Kshetra, as mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Kshetra means it's a field also, but the body is also called a Kshetra. The word Kshetra has many meanings. It may be regarded as the Kavacham, armor, which protects the indwelling spirit. Kshetra also means that which is liable to destruction. It also means a field of action. So as our body itself is a Kavacha. Okay, the Lord is wearing that body. Okay, so we see the Lord within us. That also comes through in this Kavachine. Means in this body, actually the Lord is the one who is there, and this body is actually covering him. That meaning also comes. Okay, so every part of our body is actually protecting the divinity within. So that we can see the mantra. Okay. We'll go to the last mantra. Namaha Shrutaya cha Shruta Senaya cha. Namah Shrutaya cha Shruta Senaya cha. Namah Shrutaya cha Shruta Senaya cha. There are no aspirated consonants here. So it should be rather straightforward to pronounce. We look at the meaning. Namaha means salutation. Shrutaya, okay. Shrutaya is fourth vibhakti or fourth noun form of the simple word Shrutaha. Okay, to Shrutaha, our salutation. That is Shrutaya Namaha. So Shruti, you all know. Okay, Shruti means Vedas. So Shrutaha means who is praised by the Vedas. The Vedas are about the Lord, Rudra. Shrutaha means who is, when we say the Shruti, that is such a person to whom we say is Shrutaha. So he is being praised, who is being described by the Shruti. That Lord is Shrutaha. Okay. So Shrutaya cha means, O Lord, who is being described and praised and sung by the Vedas is you, and to you our salutation. Shruta. Shruta also means praise. We heard about Shrava. That means well known, praised. Okay. Well, famous. That kind of meaning is Shruta. Shruta Senaya means fourth vibhakti of the simple word Shruta Senaha. Earlier we saw Shena, which is coming from Ashu Shena. Again, that Sena comes here. Sena means army. Shruta means very famous, well known, praisable, praised. Okay. One whose army is praised. So the Lord, not only he is praised, but his army is also praised. Okay. Yes, Sister Kamini, you have raised your hand. I think you have to unmute and speak, Sister Kamini, otherwise, maybe unless it's a mistake. I think, okay, I think we'll move on. So we have salutations to the one who is praised by the Vedas and one whose army is praised. Okay, both can be made. So you can also say Shruta Sena means his armies are people who chant the Vedas. That way also we can take this as Shruta Sena. Yeah? You can take that also as a meaning. And now we look at the excerpt from Swami's discourse. Shruti is Veda. Shruta Sena means his army is all people who know Vedas. That kind of meaning. Swami says, as many as 450 boys have had this chance today. The Swami had just performed a mass Upanayanam ceremony, so he's giving a talk. Some persons at Prashanthi Nilayam felt that this being the examination season for school boys, many may not be able to come and get initiated in this sacred presence. But see how, on account of strikes and consequent disturbances, schools were closed, examinations were postponed, and almost all who had written about their desire to come are here before me. This is another reminder of the efficacy of the unseen merit. The rain falls on barren land, and all the seeds hidden underneath the land sprout, making a green carpet to cover the area. No one knew except myself that there were these seeds of earned merit awaiting the showers of grace in the heritage of these boys. For the revival of Sanatana Dharma, eternal religion, these boys will be efficient instruments. They will replenish the glory of Bharata Varsha. They are today recruited into my army. So, I was just telling Shruta Sena, the Sena which chants the Vedas, Shruti. So that's what Swami has used the same word, army, in one of his discourses. Then Swami continues, this discourse delivered in February 1965. The date was not given, but if you take the Sathya Sai Speaks, which covers Swami's discourse in 1965, you'll find it. I am achieving the re-establishment of Dharma, the restoration of the Vedas. And it is with that in view that I am initiating in my presence every year boys from all parts of India. This samskara is fast losing its significance. The recital of the Gayatri and the performance of the Sandhya rite are both being neglected. So they have to be restored to their pristine glory. This is an important step. Until you see the Akshara, the unchanging, you must practice the Kshara, the changing, which helps you to transcend it. When once you are able to pronounce cat, you can give up reading the word as CAT. The Gayatri will help you to reach the Akshara. Practice it 3 times a day in the Sandhya rite. The Deha Mata, the mother who bore the body, the Loka Mata, the mother who sustains the universe, and the Gayatri Mata, the mother who saves you from bondage and ignorance. All three deserve your devotion and worship. So I thought it's nice to know, if we want to be part of that army of the Lord, Shruta Sena, then Swami is telling what we should do. Okay, he's telling Gayatri and the learning of the Vedas is important. I have quite a few excerpts. I hope you bear with me. And Kanaya Santi.
Yes, sir. No, can you go to the previous one where it says Bharata Varsha or something at the end?
Yes.
Bharata Varsha. Glory of Bharata Varsha. What does that mean?
Bharata Varsha is the land of Bharat. I think that's good enough. Varsha actually means rain. You can
rain. That's what I did.
Where the reign of Bharata happens, that kind of meaning.
They will replenish the glory of Bharata Varsha.
Yeah, Bharata Varshe, Bharata Kante. That's the way even when do the Sandhya, actually they use this word. So it's actually the entire world is also called Bharata Varsha.
Entire world.
And Bharata Khanda is the place, the
continent.
Land continent. Okay, that's the way it is. So actually Swami says the entire world is Bharata Varsha.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Yes. So that's actually because everything is actually divine, but it may not be practiced. The Bharata culture may not be practiced, but actually it's Bharata. That's the way I just recognized. Okay, so another excerpt of our Venkateshwaralu just now spoke of the Lord as the director of a drama of delusion. But the delusion is in you, not in the Lord. Sorry. The delusion is in the Lord. The delusion is in you, not in the Lord, who is possessed of only supreme power, Mahashakti. Unable to grasp that supreme power and to understand its manifestations, people envelop themselves in doubt and delusion. That is all. He also said that I am by birth an Andhra, etc. But the whole world is my birthplace. I am not to be identified with this or that province or state. So we were just talking about Bharatavarsha as the entire world, and Swami is saying that the entire world is one. That he doesn't belong to only Andhra Pradesh. Dakshinamurti does not belong only to Dakshinapata. Again, Venkateshwaralu mentioned the various points spoken about me by those who have neither seen nor experienced me. These are all unnecessary and useless diversions which distract. See, Swami is referring to a person who gave a talk before Swami spoke. He's telling, all sorts of people are talking about Swami bad things, and he was feeling bad about it. But Swami is saying they are all unnecessary, useless diversions because they don't know who I am. Okay, so no, don't be distracted by anyone who speaks about anything. And Swami is very clear about it. These are all unnecessary and useless diversions which distract. The sculptor should see before him only the form of his personal deity, Ishtadevata, and should strive to quickly remove with a chisel the stone that envelops that form. So too, all discussion whether this Sai is that Sai or that Sai is this Sai is irrelevant. The same sugar is poured into different molds to prepare several types of sweets. So also, Rama, Sai, Sathya Sai, all are the same sugar. That is enough for the aspirant who will realize the truth in good time. Do not worry your mind with such problems. Do not mix with the people who talk loosely of holy subjects. One thing I may tell you now, there is no one in this world who does not belong to me. All are mine. They may not call out my name or any name, but still they are mine. You are seeing for yourself how thirsty souls are gathering in numbers every day at Puttaparthi. I have told you often that in a matter of a year or two, the multitude will be so large that you may not get much chance to approach me with your spiritual problems and difficulties. So hurry to me with them even now. While in other places I speak generally on the need for devotion, etc., here at Puttaparthi I emphasize the practical discipline of everyday life because this is the headquarters of an army under training. So cultivate truth and love and make yourself examples for all who might contact you. So Swami is telling, as one who is chiseling Vigraha, should only focus on the Vigraha, not about anything else. And if anything else is covering the Lord, it should be thrown away. It should be chiseled and thrown away so that only the Lord takes form. So Swami does not want us to be distracted by that, that we should be focused. Because he says he is training an army. And whoever comes to Puttaparthi, even though others may say his name or not, they all his, but they don't belong to the army which comes to the headquarters for training of the discipline. And Swami says, cultivate truth and love. Through that, we become one of the members of his army or armed forces. Because armed with love, he fights re-establishment of dharma. We'll go to the next excerpt. To earn that calmness, steady effort and harmony are essential. In the same manner as for nourishing the scripture and the world. So there's to earn that calmness, to earn Swami's grace or whatever he has spoken about, is referring to that. Calmness, steady effort and harmony are essential. Okay, we have to be calm. Okay, to earn that calmness, which Swami has already spoken about through sadhana. He says steady effort and harmony are essential. In the same manner as for nourishing the scripture and the word. Even to nourish the scriptures and the world, the same calmness is required. When peace is acquired, then all is equanimity, samarasa. Equanimity is the very nature of peace. Everyone should be endowed with that peace and that equanimity and should establish an age of belief devoid of non-scriptural behavior, attitude, conduct, habits, character. For this purpose, an army of spiritual aspirants has to be trained in ashrams and centers of piety. This is the responsibility mainly of those who run the ashrams, for they must have faith in themselves in order to train the army along sound lines. So this was a talk given to a lot of sadhus from various ashrams by Swami. And he's saying the army is devoid of non-scriptural behavior, attitude, conduct, habits, and character. So this is important to create that army of spiritual aspirants who will fight the vices of the world. Swami is continuing. Otherwise, otherwise things will get more confounded. The elders and the great, the so-called big personages, are responsible by their practices for the evident loss of faith in scriptures and oneself, and the consequent discord and disquiet. Hence, they must all gird up their loins to re-establish and restore peace. This from Prashanti Vahini, chapter 10. So he's saying everyone should join this war of bringing prosperity and calm and peace and harmony in the world. I will continue. Sorry, I've got quite a few because I didn't have some of the excerpts in other places, so I thought for all mantras together, I will excerpt some. Peace is not just an external polish, which can be put on and brushed off. It is not the same as fortitude like that which young Yudhishthira had when he bore without a tear or grasp or a gasp the 100 blows with a cane administered to test his stamina. It is not the resignation that comes of frustrated ambition or satisfied desire. It is an ennobling, elevating experience which comes when one attains merger with the very source of one's being. It's a stilling of the waves, the calming of mental activities and agitations. Everyone who has attained it has hoisted the Prashanti flag. In fact, each one of you should strive to unfurl it on your own hearts. You must all become an army of virtuous dharmic workers, equipped with the weapons of truth, righteousness, peace, and love, Sathya, Dharma, Shanti, Prem, to revive humanity and rid it of all the ills with which it is now stricken. So I picked up wherever Swami mentioned an army. So the Shruta Sena, the last excerpt. Someone comes to me to get his stomachache cured. Then he likes this place and its atmosphere and its chanting of Om, Omkara, and devotional singing Bhajana, and its peace, Prashanti. He sees me and observes my movements and words and actions. He takes home a picture or a songbook, and before long he forgets the ache that brought him hither and cultivates a new ache for supreme peace, Prashanti, for an audience, contact, and conversation, for remembrance of the name, meditation, realization, for remembrance of the name, meditation, and realization. That's the ache people develop. Okay. Of course, I never deviate from truth. Since I recline on truth, I am called Sathya Sai. Swami has used the word Sathya Sai. Okay. Sai as in Sesha Sai, means reclining. The name is very appropriate, let me assure you. It is only those who fail to follow my instructions and who deviate from the path I have laid down that fail to get what I hold out before them. Follow my instructions and become soldiers in my army. I will lead you on to victory. When someone asks you in great earnestness where the Lord is to be found, do not try to dodge the question. Give them the answer that rises up to your tongue from your heart. Direct them, He is here in Prashanti Nilayam. So this was a discourse Swami gave in 21 November 1962. It still holds good. It still holds good. So that's the mantra. So it's dhyana. Before we go to the dhyana, so we have come to the end of the Anuvaka, sixth Anuvaka of Sri Rudram. Some details I think we provide. So here for this Anuvaka, the Rishi is Bhagavan himself, Bhagavan, the Lord. Okay. Devata, the Lord who is worshipped, also Bhagavan. He is the worshipper and he is the worshipped. Chandas, that is the meter which is used, is called Mahaviran Mahapankti. Okay, Mahaviran Mahapankti. Mahavirat, so that's the name of the Chandas meter, just for information purposes. If we want, we can do a Chandas topic itself separately. That itself is a huge subject. As you know, Chandas is the meter itself is one of the Vedangas. Okay, so which is to be actually studied to learn the Vedas. But for now, we will stick to the meanings. And I don't think I am qualified to teach that because I myself have to learn. So we'll go to Dhyanam, meditation for this Anuvaka. The previous Anuvaka, we did not have a meditation shloka. For both put together, this Dhyana shloka is provided by the commentator. So we'll take a look at that. Gauri Karambujanyasta Swarna Shaila Sharasanam. Gauri Karambujanyasta Gauri Karambujanyasta Swarna Shaila Sharasanam. Gauri Kambujanyasta Swarna Shaila Sharasanam. You know, the end, but so many words put together as one word. But if you can break them into Gauri Karambujanyasta Kara Ambuja Ambujanyasta Swarna Shaila Shara Asanam. You know, Swarna Shaila Shara Asanam. Ishu Hastam Ratharudham Naranari Tanum Smarit. Ishu Hastam Ratharudham Naranari Tanum Smarit. Okay, that's the Dhyana Shloka. We will look at the meaning. One should meditate. Smarit. You can see the word Smarit here. Smarit. Okay, one should meditate on the Lord with the body of man and woman. Nara Nari Tanum. Nara means man. Nari means woman. Tanum means body. So one whose body, there's a man and a woman. One whose body is of a man and of a woman. So it's Ardhanari Ishvara, the Lord is, you know, Shiva Shakti. So because there is feminine and the masculine in the same body. Okay. Having a bow of golden mountain. So Swarna means golden, gold. Shaila is mountain. Swarna Shaila. Okay. Sharasanam. Okay. So I don't know whether you all know, you know, when Shiva went to fight the Tripura Asuras, the Meru became the bow. Okay. It becomes the Sharasana. Means Sharasana means actually Sharasana means where the it rests. Okay. Sharasana. Okay. So Shiva is worshipped as one, you know, we were talking about army, fighter, and things like that. The story of Shiva going to destroy those Tripuras. At that time, he had this form. He held the bow of the Meru mountain itself. Okay. The next one is in the lotus hand of Gauri. Gauri Karambujanyasta Asta. Okay. So apparently this bow is in the hands of Gauri. So you're saying Shiva carried the bow, but how is it in the hands of Gauri? Because in the left hand he's holding the bow. That's the hand of Gauri. Okay, that which supports. Okay, that's Gauri. Gauri Karambujanyasta Swarna Shaila Sharasana. Okay, so he's holding the Meru mountain as a bow in his left hand, which is the hand of Gauri. Okay, with arrow in his hand, Ishu Hastam. So he has the arrow on his right hand. That is in Shiva's hand. So the Nara is holding the arrow. The Nari, the Parvati, is holding the bow. You can see how the rishis have visualized the Lord. And seated in the chariot, Ratharudham. He is seated in a chariot. So we looked at all of them, the chariot which runs fast, travels fast. So this is the way the Lord goes to fight. Okay. So that is basically for us to visualize. In our left hand, it's the hand of Gauri, this is the hand of Shiva, that kind of picturization meditation which the rishis engaged in while chanting these mantras. So I thought I will cover that. On that topic, I got an excerpt from Swami's discourse also. It's half the way during the discourse, Swami is saying, who is the lady here? Swami is telling something before and he's saying, who is the lady here? It is Prakriti. Prakriti means nature. All are women. That is everything. Everyone is a woman. Simply because you wear pants and a shirt, you do not become a Purusha, male. The one who wears a body is a Stri, woman. The awareness that pervades the body is called Purusha. It is Chaitanya, the consciousness. The body is Jada, inert. Man is a combination of both. So he's thinking every person is a combination of both. This combination of awareness within and Purusha or masculine aspect and the inert body or feminine aspect is termed Ardhanari Ishvara, half male and half female. Not only Ishvara, but every human is an Ardhanari. So human life is not a single entity, but the combination of Prakriti and Paramatma, or the feminine and the masculine aspects. This is a discourse from 1998. So Swami is saying, so it's not only Shiva. I mean, people say right and left, half, but no, the masculine aspect and feminine aspect are in everything in this world. Because there is Jata and there is Chaitanya. That is, so everything in this world we see matter and energy. Actually, there is an atom has matter as well as energy. That is Ardhanarishvara. That's the Shiva Shakti. So Nara Nari Tanum. And that's what the shloka says. Okay, so I thought I will just point that out. That's all. I think it comes to an end. Sixth Anuvaka. I think I had mentioned, I think Auntie had asked a doubt last week about how to pronounce the Avagraha. So I think Auntie is not here.
Sairam, I don't know. I'm here.
Oh, you are here, Auntie. I didn't see your name.
Oh, maybe it's giving some other name.
Okay,
It's
fine.
changing all the time.
Okay, that's fine, Auntie. Sakwani, thank you. So I just wanted you to be present, so I'll just cover it a little bit. You asked how to pronounce Avagraha A, which is supposed to be silent. This is not a chanting class, but anyway, I will just cover it because it's a topic related to it. So generally this sign is used when it's silent in a sandhi. This is there are lots of places where this is described, but I've just picked up only a couple of points to discuss here. I'll just read out and then explain. Among the many meanings attributed to the above word, that is, avagraha is a meaning which there are many meanings for this word. In the context of Sanskrit language, pronunciation, writing, especially writing, it's a mark used to depict the elision. Okay, elision means when a letter becomes absent. Okay, not absent, it's transformed because I think omission. Sorry. So when it merges, that process is called elision. Okay. In English also it is there. Some letters are elided. They say you don't pronounce it. So in Sanskrit, there's a rule in the Panini's Ashtadhyayi, Panini grammar, that when A follows either A or O, that A is actually becomes elided. So it becomes the previous sound actually takes over. So if it's A, that takes over A. The O also can take over A. That's the meaning of that sutra by Panini. So because of that, whenever when A follows A or O, it actually becomes silent. Okay, but what happens? Do we just ignore it? Is the question. But as you can see, the avagraha is mentioned. That means we should recognize that it's present, and so there is a slight difference in the pronunciation. I will look at it later. But this avagraha, this is just a grammatical portion of sandhi. But in the Vedas, in many Vedic texts, you will find them as elongation. Sometimes you will have two of them, sometimes you will have three of them. That means it's elongated. That is one convention of writing. There are multiple conventions. So some people use avagraha to maintain. If, for example, and then there are two or three, then you are supposed to elongate that for that many matras. Okay. So avagraha is used like that also in the Vedic text. So you need to understand both of them. Okay. But here in this, what I am doing, I am avoiding all pronunciation related or chanting related avagrahas. Okay. So I mentioned about Vedanga. Vedanga, there are 6 Vedangas. Siksha deals with certain, grammatical aspects and so pronunciation and so on. And each of the Vedas have what are called Pratishakya. Okay, they are texts which basically teaches, comments, and provides rules of how to chant them, how to read them, how to study them, and so on. Okay. So there's one Pratishakya called Shukla Yajur Pratishakya in the Shukla Yajur Veda. It has a very clear statement on this. Because others also may have, but because there are many Pratishakyas are lost. So this one is available and it says Samase Vagroho Hrasva Sama Kalaha. So what he's saying is, samasa means a compound word. Avagraha. Okay, in this itself, avagraha shows up. Samase vagraho. Okay. Hrasva sama. Hrasva, I think we have looked at short vowel sound is called hrasva. Long vowel is called dirgha. Okay. So hrasva. So it's a one matra sound should be there. So that is the rule given. Okay. So now I'm just going to give one or two examples. I've taken a Samaka mantra. though we have not touched some chamaka yet, but the example is pretty good, so I have picked that up because this has been used by some people who teach avagraha pronunciation. So, in chamakam, you pray for various things. You ask the Lord. We will talk about the chamakam when we've completed namakam. We pray for many things from the Lord, so we can pray to the Lord. We can use them as worship material, resources for our worship. That's why we ask the Lord. So, for example, in this, me na mitram cha me bhayam cha me, like that it goes, okay. So, if you look at this word, me na mitram me bhayam, okay. So, this I is silent. This I is also silent, avagraha. If you look at the meaning, anamitram, mitra means friend, na mitra means enemy, anamitra means uninimical, something like that. Double negative. That means we are asking the Lord to give us friendship. We are asking there should not be any enmity. That's the meaning. Anamitra, that's the meaning. Okay. Me abhayam means, abhayam means fearlessness. Okay. Lack of bhayam. But if this avagraha is not there, they come like this. Me namitram cha me bhayam. What I wanted to point out is, if there's a gap between me and namitram, then the meaning is completely different. Okay. Me namitram, me bhayam. So there should not be a silence, pause between two words. So actually, the sound should continue, and we should be aware what we are saying also. Me namitram, me bhayam. Okay. We should understand when the sandhi, actually what happens is the sounds are not lost, but they are merged together. So, me na mitram, me abhayam. Okay. So, if you say fast, me abhayam, me abhayam, me abhayam, what you get is me abhayam, me abhayam. Okay. Not me bhayam. I think that is so don't pause. So, the letter should be, the me should be elongated. It should sort of become a, and it should merge in bha. You should not stop after me and then say bhayam separately. So that is the way to pronounce or chant wherever avagraha comes. Okay, so it has to be continuous. Me bhayam, not me bhayam. I hope that clarifies. So I will stop here. If there are any questions, I will answer. Saira. Sakwanti, I hope it's clarified or it confused more. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to you have to be aware that there is a gap and there is a sound there.
Yes.
And you say like me bayam, me bayam.
Yes. Me bhayam. See, you should, any sandhi you should say fast, and what you get at the end is me bhayam, me bhayam, me bhayam.
Okay, me bayam.
It's
Okay.
not me bhayam, me bhayam, me bhayam, me bhayam, me bhayam.
You should not break it.
Exactly.
When you break it, it becomes me bayam.
Exactly. So the meaning.
You ask for fear.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So that's.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's very
yes,
clear
Brother
now.
Vimal. Yes, Brother Vimal.
Suppose two of the words come like in Ganesha, there was Isham,
Yes.
papam, and there's a avagraha.
Yeah.
So
yes.
it is papam, apapam.
Exactly. So
but we have to say papam, apapam.
So it should be papo papam. Is it something like that?
Papo, papam. Okay. Thank you.
Papa has something, something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, Brother Vimal, listen.
No, for this avagraha, so at some places it sound easier to say include an so is it okay to say to pronounce if possible, or is it?
See,
You understand what I'm asking?
yeah, I understand. Is it wrong to say me abhayam?
Yeah.
That's the
If in a
question.
flow pretty fast, if we can say that in Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam, same thing. So generally I am asking, most places the wouldn't come there, but we have to say it in a flow. But when we see that sign, we know that is there. But is it okay both ways if we can say in a flow? That's what I am asking.
See, I'm not the authority, but my view is, I think the meaning is important. See, usually the purists will say you should not chant, because what happens is whenever we say after me abhayam, there's a break.
Right.
So the break should not be there. That's all I would say. They will say the matra interface with the chandas. That is the
Okay.
debating.
Upper weight.
But personally, for me,
I'm on the phone.
I feel it's okay. But don't break the flow of the sound.
Right.
If you say me abhayam, that means you have introduced an extra space and time.
Right.
That should not be acceptable.
Okay, because in Prashanti chanting, also I have noticed that some Avagraha, they say they say it. Mostly not, but
yes,
at some places, because in those places it feels is more naturally it comes.
Yes, I've seen in some
okay.
places they chant it explicitly because I think they know the meaning, so they're chanting. In other places, they are not aware of the meaning, so they're not chanting. That's the way I understand. But yes, there's no harm in, no harm actually. But there are purists who will argue, no, see, the sandhis in general, it's always a point of contention. Okay. Like shanti. Some people, insist on shantish. Then it's not our, see, visarga means you should give up, you let the sound fade away.
Right.
But it turns into another sound. So sandhis should not be, we should not grasp it with too much and introduce a completely different sound. So we should recognize that it's a sandhi which has become, sandhi has caused the visarga to become that. So we should understand the principle and accordingly chant. I don't think it is wrong. That's my personal view. But there are multiple schools of thoughts in this. There are people who argue this way and that way. So but in Panini grammar also there are exceptions, even in Pratishakyam, there are exceptions for some of the places. The has to be stated without using it. There are exceptions, so that is which are defined in Pratishakyam.
Okay.
Like Namo Astu and things like that. You don't say Namostu,
Right. Yeah.
So there are some exceptions. There are a list of words which are given as exceptions. It requires a deeper study if you want to be very accurate. But I think if we understand the meaning and chant,
right,
that is much more important because ultimately it should express our feelings of the bhava should be right. We should pay attention to some of the matras and chandas because that is also a science. Because the sound, the engineer, the technique or the science of sound itself has certain potency, so it needs to be given some weightage.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And whatever feels right in your heart, you do. That's what I would say.
Right. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Sairam.
Thank you. Right.
Sairam Kanagesa.
Sairam, are we having a class next Saturday?
Yes, Auntie. Not Why any particular?
No, 25th, no?
No, next week is 24th.
24th. Okay, next Saturday we'll have a class. Okay.
Yes,
And
I think we will. If I don't know if whoever comes will have the class.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you very much. It was
So we
very-
will, if there are no
And
questions.
one more question. You in the other one of the experts, you said Yudhishthira got that 100 blows or something.
Swami's discourse.
Yeah.
Because Yudhishthira suffered a lot, in his life. He had to, bear so many ignominies, He,
Yeah.
he was called, he was cheated. Even as a youngster, the palace was burnt. So there were many things which life he had to sustain, but he sustained all of them with equanimity.
So in this context,
But Swami is saying that you cannot consider that Shanta. That is forbearance. Whereas Shanti, Swami is talking about the peace which Swami relates to as Prashanti. He says it comes because we are one with the divine. So you see, Yudhishthira, at times he felt sad also about many things. He felt guilty about many things.
yeah.
Very good person. He knew Dharma. He always followed Dharma.
But they took advantage of that,
People took advantage, but sometimes he was pained by that. Okay. Why is it happening? And he felt guilty about many things. So he was not at peace many times. Even after the war, it took him months and years to get over that. Even though Krishna was assuring everything is fine. So Swami is telling, even Yudhishthira was good quality, but peace, which Swami is referring to, is much more than that. That comes only with
forbearance.
feeling one with the Lord. And I think that's why Swami is clearly explaining what he means by Shanti. See, sometimes we say high human values, truth, right conduct, peace. And everyone says, oh, you have to be peaceful. You should not fight and things like that. But Swami is telling that's none of that. It's much beyond that. They may encompass all these also, but Shanti, which Swami refers to, is much beyond that. So Swami, I can go back to that, and he wants to clear that, so that we get good.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, that's what. Sorry. I hope.
Not to worry.
Okay.
I don't know. Thank you very much for explaining.
Sai Ram, Aunty, Sai
Sairam.
Sai
Sairam.
Ram. So if everyone, okay. If
Yeah,
everyone,
not to worry, but I was thinking, what was it? Was there any
it refers to that only. Swami is telling, don't think that it's, I think, Prashanti Vahini, of, how to cultivate peace, which Swami is teaching. I think here. Okay.
That's okay.
Okay, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you.
Here, I think here,
it's okay.
Here, this
But
where Swami is telling,
I had been.
peace is not just an external polish, which can be put on or brushed off. That is, sometimes we may be feeling so angry and inside, but we just put on a mask of peace. Swami says that is not peace.
The 100 blows with a cane administered.
Yeah, so I think there was another story of Yudhishthira being punished, but I will find out and tell in the next story.
Maybe
But
when he was a student, it might have happened to him.
So I think I will come back to that.
Yeah, thank you. Just to test his stamina, no?
Yeah, so, and it's not the resignation which comes out of frustrated ambition or satisfied desire. It's a no, and so Swami is just trying to explain to us that real peace is which
comes when one attains merger with the very source.
Yes, of one's being.
It's like our Nayan Mars also bearing all that because they have merged into the divine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That devotion, that it gives a certain state of acceptance.
When Tirunavakara was thrown into the
Yes, yes.
like ocean with the everything. He bore them because of the divinity in him. No,
Yes.
I
Yes.
think it refers to that.
Yes.
But I was only thinking that
What
there
are the
must be
blows?
some context where he was
Okay, I
being
think I will
understood.
find out the story because I
Sure.
will have to do. I will come back.
Thank you very much, Arun.
Right.
I was just curious to know what that is. Okay.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Sairam.
Okay, Sairam, everyone.
Sai Ram.
We will close with Samastaloka. Sairam. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti
Shanti.
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 Jai Sai Ram.